Hey everybody, I am AR Mar, and what I watched today is Book 2, Chapter 2 of Avatar The Last Airbender, The Cave of Two Lovers. We start off with Katara giving Aang waterbending lessons, and I love this scene. We get to see a whole new form of waterbending, with Aang using several tentacles together in concert to do attack and defense. And it is awesome. I love how Book 2 here, even just 2 episodes in, is showing us so many new ways they can use bending. We've got the lightning from last episode. Now we've got this multi-faceted tentacle move for water bending. It is really cool, and I love seeing just how much this stuff is growing. While they're practicing here, we've got some hippies that they refer to as nomads who come in and basically say, "Hey, river people, cool," and they get along quite well. They start talking about stuff, all the cool things the hippies have seen, and they start getting really sidetracked. But then Sokka comes in. He's like, "I hate to be the wet blanket, but since Katara's busy," which really was a funny line, as he's trying to get them back on track and headed towards the Earth Kingdom capital. But it also kind of annoyed me a little because most of the time it's Sokka who's the wet blanket going, "No, we have to stick to the plan. We have to do this. We have to do that. We do not have time for distractions or fun." It is more often than not Sokka doing that and not Katara. So it felt like it was just, for the sake of a joke that they put that in. But funny joke, just when I think about it, it doesn't feel quite right. While they're doing in between this, we cut to Zuko and Iroh for a moment, and Uncle Iroh's just sort of sitting in front of this bush trying to debate, will this bush give me delicious tea or a deadly poison? I feel your pain, Iroh. I mean, who hasn't wanted tea that badly at times? Of course, it ends up being poison, but I'll get back to that in a moment. After Sokka being so insistent that they have to get to Amashu right away, the hippies sing them a legend about two lovers who made a secret tunnel through the mountain so that they could be together because their two tribes at the time were fighting. We find out a lot more about these lovers and their legend through the course of the episode, and I gotta say, I just love it. But at this point, they're starting to refuse. They're kind of being like, "Oh well, Appa wouldn't like it underground. He gets nervous because, it makes sense. He's a flying bison. They're not exactly meant to be underground." And Aang's kind of going, "You know what? I want to keep Appa comfortable. We're just going to go by the sky. Thanks for the offer." We get a really quick scene of them dodging Fire Nation troops, firing at them, trying to destroy them. And then they come back by the nomads all charred and just walking, going "Okay, tunnel it is." Which I kind of it made me laugh. That sequence made me laugh, and it was well done. It didn't really feel forced. It kind of felt it felt like a natural progression. We're gonna fly. Oh shit, flying is definitely not gonna work. Let's try out this love tunnel thing. We go back to Iroh for a moment, and now he has been, like I said, poisoned by the bush, and he has found berries that will either cure his poison or render him blind. I do like that this is the moment where Zuko goes, "Okay, enough. We are just finding a damn doctor. No more berries, no more bushes, no more will this kill me or not. We are finding a doctor." And then they have a little debate, Fire Nation or Earth Nation. Well, the Fire Nation will kidnap us and take us back to home and lock us up. The Earth Nation will just try to kill us if they figure out who we are. Earth Nation. That also made me laugh. Then there's a couple good lines as Aang and his group were heading into the labyrinth. Well, the tunnel. But that's when they are told, it's less a tunnel and more of a labyrinth. And then one of the hippies just kind of looks at them and is like, "All you need to do is trust and love. At least according to the curse." Sokka's reactions as he hears this is labyrinth? Curse? Oh, that guy is so tightly wound. Admittedly, a lot of the time he's perfectly right to be tightly wound. They're in the middle of a war, there's danger all around them. But it's still kind of fun to see it contrasted with these nomad hippies that are just so relaxed about it all. The Fire Nation is well aware of the legend too, and hot on their heels from the scene earlier while they were firing at the Avatar. So instead of following them in, they just seal the exit to trap them. And that makes perfect sense to me. They're kind of like, you know what? We've heard the legends. Maybe they even lost some troops in there, and they're just like, nope, we're just gonna seal them in and let the cave take care of them. And that was really fun. And then we go into a bit of a side story of Zuko and Iroh, and like they go to an Earth Kingdom village. They get their Iroh's poisoning treated, and this young girl who's treating them, like, I don't know, she seems a bit smitten with Zuko. She invites them to dinner. She chats with them a bit while she's healing Iroh. And over the course of like dinner and everything else, she keeps trying to get closer to Zuko. She talks to him. She's like, "Don't worry, I know what you're going through. We were refugees once too, me and my mother. We were hurt by the Fire Nation too." She keeps trying to connect to them, and Zuko keeps pushing her away. Like, I don't know if he's afraid to connect to someone else, or if he's just that focused on everything he's lost that he can't see that this girl is trying to reach out to him. He's become so closed off because of his obsession. In the end, he even steals their like bird horse thing. I still haven't figured out the name for these animals, but the bird horses that have been around throughout the series, he kind of steals theirs. And as he's going, like, I can see the look in her eyes. Like, the animators did a great job in this. It's almost like this moment of heartbreak for her. I mean, yeah, she failed to connect to this guy, but then, like, you know, as she's watching him leave, he throws their kindness back in their face and steals their horse. I mean, wow, Zuko, dick move, man. It really annoyed me how just much of a dick Zuko was in that situation. Like, I get it, it sort of does fit entirely with his character, especially after what he's been through and how much hope he's lost because of this stuff with his sister. But still, man, dick move. Anyhow, back in the cave, we meet another awesome bit of fauna called a wolf bat. Can you guess which two animals form this beautiful deadly creature? Kind of obvious, I know, but it is still, like, beautifully designed, and I just loved seeing that. I mean, as I've said before, I love all the weird fauna in this universe. The cave group gets split up after they run into this animal, and Aang and Katara find the tomb of the two lovers from the legend. And they find out that these two lovers are I think it was like Oma and Shu, the founders of the city of Omashu. And apparently also the first earthbenders who were taught by the mole creatures that live in these caves. Okay, what were they called again? It'll come to me. But, you know, they were trained by the mole creature from watching the mole creatures in these caves, and that's where the first earthbenders came from. I love finding out these legends from the world. I mean, Book 1 gave us a good overview of the world. It gave us a good amount of information on the Water Tribe, because, well, Book 1, Water. And now in Book 2, Earth, we're finally getting, well, Doi, a more expanded verse for the Earth Tribe. We're finding out their legends, their history. And in this universe, that's pretty much the same thing in the Avatar's world. Almost every legend so far has been found to be based in fact, especially with all the bending and stuff we've seen. I mean, you know, season 1 finale, we found the Earth and Moon spirits, the Sea and Moon spirits, to be, like, real physical things in this world. And I am just loving that. Like, it is really fun to see, like, more of these expansions to the world, making it feel more like a living, breathing thing, and giving us a little more explanation of how everything works. This is about the time where I figured out, like, they gave us another line, love is brightest in the dark. When I combined that with a statement from earlier that trusting in love would see them safely through the cave, I put 2 and 2 together there, and the characters find out soon after, as their light goes out, that in the dark there are phosphorescent crystals that light up and lead the safe way out of the caves. And that was a really, like, great, like, I really enjoyed that was the solution. That they had been, like, so afraid and, like, you know, trusting in their torches to save them. And yet all they had to do was put the torches out and trust in the lovers. And the cave would have been perfectly, like, easy to get through. It's really great. And then once everyone gets out, there is a great line from one of the nomads where he goes over to, like, Sokka has this like red mark on his head from constantly smacking his forehead trying to travel with these hippies. And at the end, like, Katara asks him about it, why do you have that red mark on your forehead? The hippie leader sidles up to Sokka and he's like, hey, nobody react to what I'm about to tell you, but I think that kid might be the Avatar. And we find out exactly where that mark's come from. Sokka's been smacking his forehead so often. But yeah, I really loved this episode. It was great and had some really great moments. Oh yeah, the mole creatures. The solution to that Sokka found for getting out of the caves was that the mole creatures actually love the vibrations of music. So they basically make friends with them using the hippies' music and get out that way. And again, that's a great bit of fauna history that I just love. Anyhow, this video is starting to rival one of my longest ones, so I'll cut it off here. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.